इनबॉर्न एरर्स ऑफ मेटाबॉलिज्म एक बहुत ही कंफ्यूजिंग और रादर बोरिंग टॉपिक है एंड वी कैन नॉट कम्प्लीटली गेट rid of this topic because patients आ ही जाते हैं and in this video I have discussed a very practical approach पूरा डिटेल में नहीं लेकिन मोटी मोटी बातें जो हम लोग को पता होना चाहिए as a pediatrician that I have tried to discuss in this video. So what is the meaning? Inborn means inherited. Metabolism किस चीज का? Metabolism of proteins, fats या carbohydrates. Recently the term inherited metabolic disorders has been used for these disorders and the time of presentation is dependent on rather the severity of the illness. अगर inborn error of metabolism बहुत ही severe है तो वो newborn period में ही manifest कर जाएगा and if it is less than severe rather than it is mild तो ये इन्फेंसी चाइल्डहुड या इवन अडल्टहुड में भी मैनिफेस्ट कर सकता है. तो एक्चुअली होता क्या है? सपोज देयर इज अ सबस्ट्रेट ए. दिस सबस्ट्रेट कैन बी अ प्रोटीन, फैट और कार्बोहाइड्रेट. नॉर्मली इट गेट्स कन्वर्टेड इनटू द प्रोडक्ट बी इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ एंजाइम और अ कोफैक्टर. अब हम ये समझे अगर इस एंजाइम या कोफैक्टर के जीन में कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो फिर ये एंजाइम या कोफैक्टर डिसफंक्शनल हो जाता है एंड the substrate A does not get converted into the product B. Therefore, what happens is that the substrate A starts getting accumulated. Yeah, it gets converted into another product which is more toxic. And this toxic product or the substrate accumulation leads to different kinds of symptoms. तो एज अ पीडियाट्रिशियन हमें क्या पता होना चाहिए? बेसिकली केवल दो बातें इंपॉर्टेंट हैं regarding this topic instead of having that entire volume, the entire unit which is present in the Nelson. तो बस मेन बातें याद रखें हम लोग प्रैक्टिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से. सबसे पहले when and what to suspect and second thing is emergency stabilization of the critical patient. हम इतना अगर कर लें I think we have done a lot and after that we can always consult our books and always refer to a geneticist. So you might argue कि newborn screening तो available है ही, but the thing is actually newborn screening क्या है? Every one of us knows कि day 1 या 2 of life पे rare genetic metabolic disorders के लिए it is a test which is done for a battery of diseases. But the thing is कि it has been seen that many patients who are screen positive they may remain asymptomatic throughout their lives. So unnecessary patients के parents को stress में डालना, उनको bother करना. The other thing is that screen may be falsely negative in patients who are having strong symptoms and signs. Then this requires referral to a geneticist at the very initiation. The premature infants, they form a large cohort of patients in whom the newborn screening results can be false negative or false positive because we all know that the metabolism mechanisms of these premature infants is also immature depending on the gestational age of the newborn. So हम कब सोचें कि IEM की पॉसिबिलिटी हो सकती है इस बच्चे में? अगर न्यूबॉर्न है तो generally the severe forms they present in the newborn period. They are characterized by lethargy, hypotonia, hypothermia, poor feeding, repeated vomiting, hiccups and convulsions, especially within a few hours of birth. अगर few hours of birth में present कर रहा है तो आप strong suspicion रखिए IEM का. And the other thing is कि ये सारे features are very common. They are found in many neonatal illnesses, especially sepsis, which is a blanket diagnosis. अगर हमें कुछ investigation complete नहीं हो पाता है या most of the times we fit it into the broad category of sepsis. लेकिन we must keep a suspicion of IEM in these patients, especially if they're not responding to antibiotics and our management. Third thing, acidotic respiration. Acidosis is a very common feature of many inborn errors of metabolism. We'll see later. In an infant, we suspect if the infant has rapid clinical deterioration who is otherwise healthy, recurrent vomiting or failure to thrive, and unexplained regression of milestones. In an older child, we think of a possibility of IEM if the child has unexplained developmental delay, regression or intellectual disability, or motor deficits or added movements like dystonia, choreoathetosis, catatonia, etc., seizures, psychosis which are not being explained easily, recurrent emesis and acidosis, organomegaly. This is very common, especially in glycogen storage disorders. Myopathy or cardiomyopathy again with them, and abnormal body odor. This is almost the characteristic of amino acid ureas. Amino acid ureas are characterized by different types of body odors. This might sometimes be asked in PT entrance examination. Renal stones and renal dysfunction, for example, Fanconi syndrome or proximal RTA. If this is present, then also one can think of a possibility of inborn error of metabolism. So एक बार अगर हमें clinical suspicion हो गया that there can be a possibility of IEM in this patient, then we have to take a detailed clinical history, like whether the symptoms are episodic and recurrent or they are progressive, if there are similar or overlapping symptoms in family members or relatives, if there is a history of consanguinity, sudden infant death syndrome, previous stillbirth, bad obstetric history, or the episode has been triggered by preceding infection, fasting, or dehydration, that is a catabolic state. Now coming on to investigations. In investigations, इस video में I have mainly focused on investigations which are normally present within reach of almost every pediatrician. Almost all the hospitals provide facilities for these basic investigations. Detailed investigations अगर हम नहीं करा पा रहे, नहीं हो पा रहा, तो at least ये basic investigations करा के we can stabilize the patient and then we can refer maybe. So याद रखने की बात यह है कि blood में 3 investigations हैं और urine में we have 2 investigations which will help us narrow down the differential diagnosis of IE. So in blood, first is the random blood sugar. Second is ABG, in which we have to look for pH, anion gap and lactates. And third is the serum ammonia levels. In urine, we need to do urinary ketone levels and urinary reducing substances. Now, taking the investigations one by one. But before that, we must remember that we must simultaneously rule out other causes or do so beforehand. So RBS is basically a non-specific thing. क्योंकि many a times the critical newborns who are coming to us, they have not been feeding for so long. तो वैसे भी उनमें hypoglycemia मिलने की possibility है. Then premature infants हैं तो उनमें hypoglycemia can occur because of other causes also. So RBS might not be very specific unless and until it is persistent, recurrent and poorly responsive to therapy. If it is so, then there can be two possibilities. First is the defect in carbohydrate metabolism, like galactosemia, glycogen storage disorders, and second is fatty acid oxidation defects, which are usually precipitated after prolonged fasting. हमारा next investigation है ABG. अब main concern क्या है कि metabolic acidosis है या नहीं. तो suppose metabolic acidosis present है, then we must immediately look for anion gap. This I've also discussed in the video on interpretation of ABG. In this, we must see whether the anion gap is normal or it is increased. दो ही possibilities हैं. Anion gap क्या है? Just to remind everyone, anion gap is sodium minus chloride plus bicarbonate and the normal value is 12 plus minus 2. So if it is a normal anion gap, the possibilities are hardly few. Amino acid ureas and fatty acid oxidation disorders, ये सिर्फ मोटा मोटा है. If there is increased anion gap, तो आपको ये देखना है कि anion gap increased किस वजह से है. If it is because of lactates, then the possibilities can be urea cycle defect or it can be a mitochondrial disorder. Mitochondrial disorder में lactate levels बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़े हुए होंगे and the pyruvates will be normal or decreased. अगर lactates increase नहीं है, then there is a strong possibility of organic acidemias or organic aciduриas, because इस condition में anion gap would be increased because of the presence of organic acids in the blood and not because of the presence of lactates. Third investigation है serum ammonia. ये बहुत ही important investigation है because it helps us in drastically almost excluding the carbohydrate metabolic disorders. केवल दो possibility है. अगर moderate to severe hyperammonemia है तो possibility है protein metabolic disorders की. ये तीन तरह के हैं: organic aciduриas, amino aciduриas and urea cycle disorders. Now अब इसको याद कैसे रखें? There is the vowels are A, E, I, O, U. You all know. So ये जो O, A, U हैं, these are the protein IEMs. The other possibility of hyperammonemia, in which hyperammonemia might be mild, is fatty acid oxidation disorders. Next investigation is urinary ketones. अगर present है तो almost exclusively it is seen in organic acidurias, which is again a type of protein IEM. So कभी कभी बहुत कंफ्यूजन होता है कीटोन्स और फैट्स और इन सब चीज़ों को लेके, स्टार्वेशन कीटोएसिडोसिस, डायबिटिक कीटोएसिडोसिस, फैट मेटाबॉलिज्म. So one must remember that ketones in urine, they almost exclude fatty acid oxidation defects of fat IM because enzymatic conversion of free fatty acids to ketones is blocked in these disorders. लास्ट इन्वेस्टिगेशन है यूरिन रिड्यूसिंग सब्सटेंसेस. अगर ये प्रेजेंट है तो पॉसिबिलिटी इज ऑलमोस्ट एक्सक्लूसिवली ऑफ गैलेक्टोसीमिया. ये हम लोग बहुत कॉमनली इन्वेस्टिगेट कराते भी रहते हैं. रिड्यूसिंग सब्सटेंसेस क्या है? दीज आर एक्चुअली शुगर्स लाइक ग्लूकोज, गैलेक्टोज, फ्रक्टोज, माल्टोज एटसेट्रा which reduce cupric ions to cuprous ions. One must not forget to get LFT, RFT, the basic metabolic tests done, and also investigations to rule out other causes like CBC, etc. Then the second line investigations for inborn errors of metabolism after the screening 5 investigations. These are gas chromatography, tandem mass spectrometry, HPLC, enzyme assay, magnetic resonance spectroscopy and biopsy. Depending कि आपके इंस्टीट्यूट में या आप जिस सिनेरियो में वर्क कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे फैसिलिटीज अवेलेबल हैं या नहीं है, यू कैन गो फॉर इट एंड और यू माइट be consider consulting a geneticist and referring the patient. Then कुछ IM में we might need to get certain other investigations to completely rule out other diseases like neuroimaging, EEG, ophthalmology evaluation, audiologic evaluation, cardiac evaluation, especially in GSD, POMPs, and genetic consultation, which I have repeatedly been stressing is important. So to further simplify, अभी तक हम लोग ने जो पढ़ा है प्रोटीन IM के regarding, we have to remember mainly two things. First thing, it is characterized by moderate to severe hyperammonemia. और दूसरी बात again OAU. Organic acidurias are characterized by increased anion gap metabolic acidosis, but in this the anion gap is elevated because of the presence of organic acids in the blood and urine ketones, which are almost exclusively seen in them. Second is amino acidureas. इसमें भी metabolic acidosis present होगी लेकिन anion gap would be normal and hypoglycemia would be there. And third is urea cycle defects in which there can be mild lactic acidosis. फैट आईएम के रिलेशन में जो भी है, अमोनिया है चाहे एसिडोसिस है, ये दोनों माइल्ड है. हाइपोग्लाइसीमिया कैन बी सिवियर in these patients because it is usually precipitated after prolonged fasting. There is a type of fat IM in which everything is normal. In these patients, if the patient is having life-threatening coma and seizures, then you might consider getting the serum glycine levels. If these are elevated, then the diagnosis is non-ketotic hyperglycemia. कार्बोहाइड्रेट आईएम में यूजुअली एसिडोसिस बहुत माइल्ड होती है, या अगर होती है तो इट इज लैक्टिक एसिडोसिस एंड hyperammonemia is not a feature. What feature is definitely there is hypoglycemia. Reducing substances in urine point towards galactosemia, and clinical features are more common in these carbohydrate disorders like organomegaly, myopathy, cardiomyopathy, etc. Also included are some other IEMs like disorders of porphyrin metabolism, purine pyrimidine metabolism, mitochondrial disorders, peroxisomal disorders, lysosomal storage disorders, and steroid metabolism disorders. I've deliberately excluded these from this video because they are separate topics in themselves, like mitochondrial disorders and the congenital adrenal hyperplasia, lysosomal storage disorders we'll discuss in separate videos. And also the disorders of porphyrin metabolism, it is important from postgraduate examination point of view. Now coming on to the second aspect which is important for a clinician or a pediatrician, initial stabilization of the child. The first thing, we'll stabilize airway, breathing, circulation. Second thing is इसे बहुत आसानी से हम लोग कर सकते हैं, we must definitely do it. The management of hypoglycemia with 5% to 10% dextrose and reversal of the catabolic state, management of acidosis. Lactulose needs to be started for hyperammonemia. Antibiotics and supportive treatment definitely need to be given. So this is basically the cocktail which you need to start in a patient in whom you have sent the investigations for IEM and you're strongly suspicious that the child might be suffering from IEM. Also, Hyperammonemia might be managed with sodium benzoate or phenyl acetate, especially in ornithine transcarbamylase deficiency, which is a type of urea cycle defect. Sometimes it might also require hemodialysis. Carnitine is again a bedside common drug which we might start basically in patients with organic acidemia. Long-term management, if you are interested in genetics, then you can definitely go into the details of this, and these include dietary restriction, addition of deficient metabolite, addition of cofactor or coenzyme which is deficient, enzyme replacement therapy, very commonly seen in Gaucher's patients these days, bone marrow, hepatic or renal transplantation. So to conclude, basically the clinical symptoms and signs of IEM are non-specific and the diagnosis cannot be reliably made on that basis. Because, for example, you see, altered sensorium can be because of hypoglycemia, it can be because of metabolic acidosis, और it can be because of hyperammonemia. तो एक ही बच्चा है लेकिन एक बच्चे जिसमें आप सस्पेक्ट कर रहे हो IEM, उसमें आप ये नहीं कह सकते this AS altered sensorium is because of hypoglycemia only, because of metabolic acidosis only, because of hyperammonemia only. So the other thing is that the newborn screening cannot definitely be taken as a gospel because it gives false negative and false positive results. So हमारा aim क्या है? Initial screening and emergency stabilization of the patient. So to conclude, if hypoglycemia is there, तो carbohydrate या fatty acid oxidation disorder हो सकते हैं. If increased ammonia is there, moderate to severe है, तो protein related IEM जिसमें again the three types are O, A and U, and अगर mild है तो fatty acid oxidation disorders, और metabolic acidosis है अगर तो increased anion gap because of organic acids है अगर, that is lactates are normal, then it is increased anion gap metabolic acidosis is seen in organic aciduria as a type of protein IEM, and if it is normal, then it is amino aciduria, again a type of protein IEM. It can be mild in fat IEM, carbohydrate IEM में lactic acidosis present होगी, और mitochondrial disorders में lactic acidosis तो होगी, इसमें एक अलग clinical presentation होता है usually encephalopathy, regression of milestones etc, severe acidosis, लेकिन इस condition में the pyruvates are normal to decreased. यूरिन कीटोन्स हैं तो ऑर्गेनिक एसिड्यूरियस की स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉसिबिलिटी है, और यूरिन रिड्यूसिंग सब्सटेंसेस है तो ऑलमोस्ट श्योर हो सकते हैं हम लोग कि इट इज अ कार्बोहाइड्रेट IEM गैलेक्टोसीमिया. सो एक निमोनिक याद रख लें अगर हम ABS, that is ABS, where A stands for ABG, B stands for blood sugar, S stands for serum ammonia. तो ये तीन इन्वेस्टिगेशंस हमें ब्लड में कराने हैं और यूरिन में कीटोन्स एंड रिड्यूसिंग सब्सटेंसेस. तो मेटाबॉलिक एसिडोसिस है तो हमारी बेसिकली दो बातें हैं वी नीड टू रिमेम्बर. सबसे पहले तो हमें ये देखना है कि एनायन गैप क्या है. एनायन गैप इंक्रीज्ड है या नॉर्मल है. इंक्रीज्ड है देन लैक्टेट अगर नॉर्मल है तो ऑर्गेनिक एसिड्स है, अदरवाइज माइटोकॉन्ड्रियल डिसऑर्डर्स, ग्लाइकोजन स्टोरेज डिसऑर्डर्स एटसेट्रा हो सकते हैं. और इफ इट इज नॉर्मल है देन अदर कॉजेज हो सकते हैं लाइक एमिनो एसिड्यूरियाज एटसेट्रा. अगर मेटाबॉलिक एसिडोसिस माइल्ड है तो फैटी एसिड ऑक्सीडेशन डिसऑर्डर्स होंगे, और सीवियर है तो ये सारे डिसऑर्डर्स हो सकते हैं. हाइपोग्लाइसीमिया है तो कार्बोहाइड्रेट या फैटी एसिड ऑक्सीडेशन डिफेक्ट्स है, और हाइपरअमोनीमिया है अगर सीवियर है देन इट इज प्रोटीन रिलेटेड IEM, और अगर माइल्ड है देन इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ फैटी एसिड ऑक्सीडेशन डिफेक्ट्स. यूरिन कीटोन्स है तो ऑर्गेनिक एसिड्यूरियाज, रिड्यूसिंग सब्सटेंसेस हैं तो गैलेक्टोसीमिया. एक बार फिर से देखें, मेटाबॉलिक एसिडोसिस है तो प्रोटीन और फैट और माइटोकॉन्ड्रियल डिसऑर्डर्स, हाइपोग्लाइसीमिया है तो कार्बोहाइड्रेट फैट, और हाइपरमोनीमिया है तो प्रोटीन फैट. But one must always remember that one must definitely not hesitate to refer to textbooks or consult a geneticist whenever in doubt, because patient का harm ना कराएं, this should be your main aim. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Stay safe and have a very good day.